Hi guys, welcome back. It's Kirsten and it is that time for my TBR game. But this time I have a few books that I want to listen to on audiobook just to represent Pride Month a little bit, and I'm not including these as part of my TBR game because they are audiobooks. So I'm going to be listening to these regardless of whatever prompts I get. So I just wanted to talk quickly about those. So the first one I am really excited to read is Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. I'm really excited. This is a book that I've had my eye on for a little while. I've been wanting to read it for ages, but I really wanted to save it for June and I'm so excited. I don't know too much about it, but I've heard some great reviews, but it does have trans representation and I just thought it was the perfect month to read this in, so I'm very excited for that. I'm also really excited to be listening to Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I'm hoping I've pronounced that correctly. This sounds like it's going to have everything that I enjoy. We have some royalty as well as some gay romance, and I just feel like it's going to be such a great time. And then I'm also going to hopefully be fitting in The Sky Blues by Robbie Couch, and this is someone that I believe is gay but is coming out and it's having a fallout and a bit of an impact on his life. So I feel like this one's going to be a slightly harder read, like slower and a bit more sad in places, but I'm not sure and I haven't seen many people talk about this. And if I do get time, I also want to try and fit in Lock and West by Alexander C. Eberhardt. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. These are all available on Scribd and that is what I'm hoping to read in the month of June, just audiobook wise and having just some warm good feel books. So that's some audiobooks that I definitely want to do in celebration of Pride Month. If you have any more recommendations, please let me know because I'll definitely be checking those out, not just in the month of June, although Pride Month has prompted me to start realising what I'm reading and being a bit more inclusive. So anyway, before we get into the dice rolls, which I'm not going to explain too much about the game, if you're interested in the ins and outs of the game, you can always check out May's TBR game where I went into that a bit more, but this intro is long enough already. But speaking of May, I have not finished my TBR for May, so that does mean I have to take an extra pick. Now in here are some books that have been on my TBR for ages, or books I just don't ever put on my TBRs. I'm just not ever going to get around to reading them unless I force myself to do it. So let's take a quick little peek out of this one. Let's go for this one. Winterwood. I've actually already read that and really enjoyed it. Spin the Dawn, another one I read and enjoyed. Clearly I need to update this bag. Okay. The Invisible Man. That's one I haven't read. So The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells is going to be the first book I read in June as a result of not finishing my May TBR, and I have the illustrated children's edition. So I'm actually really happy that this came up because I'm really into classics at the moment. Okay, and last thing to do before we get into the rolls, we have to choose our 6th prompt for the month. Let's go with a pink, as I'm wearing pink as always. Over 500 pages. Okay, so now all those intro bits are out the way, let's get straight to roll number 1. Roll number 1. Green. Adult fantasy. Okay, so for roll number 1 we got adult fantasy, which, you know what, not a bad one to start off the month with. And for this one I'm actually letting you guys choose what book I read. So I have 2 books to choose from and you can put in the comments below which one you think I should read. I'll also put it on my Instagram as well in a story and I will let you guys know what book gets picked. So it will either be Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. Now this will technically be a reread for me, but I haven't read this book in a good 4 years or so. I don't remember too much about it, but I really do want to continue on with the series. What I remember is that we're in this world with different witches. We're following a main character who is a truth witch because she can tell when people are lying, which is obviously an amazing ability to have that a lot of people want to use, and so she's kind of always on the run. There is a really nice friendship in this, which you don't often get in adult fantasy. Like I said, I don't remember too much about it, but I do want to carry on with this series. And the other book option is The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin, which is the 2nd book in the Broken Earth trilogy. I read 5th season last year, really did enjoy that book, gave it 4 stars. It's a really interesting adult fantasy. It's kind of a mix of different genres of like sci-fi, dystopian and fantasy, and we're in this world where there is a 5th season, which basically every 100 years or so the world just gets this massive reshuffle and there are certain people that have this power over the earth but instead of being heralded like as something that can really help lessen the impact of this 5th season event when it happens, instead they are persecuted, and it's quite a dark book, and I'm really intrigued to see where it continues. I know Bobby from Bobby Dusty Pages has really enjoyed this second book, and it just reminded me I really need to get on and read it. So do let me know in the comments below which one of these you want me to read this month. Roll number 2. Purple. Manga or graphic novel? The second prompt was also very nice to me because I get to choose a manga or graphic novel. And for this one, I'm technically not choosing either, but it is a comic, and this is the only comic I have, so I'm including it in this. And that is Extraordinaries by V.E. Schwab. This is believe it's a prequel to the Villains duology, which I think might have a 3rd book eventually. I'm not sure what's happening there, but I'm really excited to read this. One, it's nice and short, so if my TBR game is mean to me this month, at least I have an easy one to fall back on. And I really am loving how V. Schwab is doing all of her prequels in different formats. So like with the Still Prince graphic novel trilogy, I really enjoyed that, and I'm excited to try this one as a comic. It will be the first comic I've ever read, though I'm imagining it's going to be very similar to a graphic novel. But so far, loving this artwork. It is so creepy, and I cannot wait to see what we are in store for. So yes, very excited for this one. Roll number 3. Blue. Over 500 pages. 3rd roll, and we're still doing okay, much better than May, because that TBR was just full of rerolls, but we're doing okay so far. But the prompt this time is over 500 pages, and for this I might be a little bit mad, but I am going for Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Now this is a classic book that I got recently, which, can we just appreciate this cover? It is stunning. And I read Anna K, which is a YA contemporary reimagining of Anna Karenina, and was really intrigued by the storyline, and I really want to see what the actual Anna Karenina classic is all about. I have heard that it is a little bit depressing, but I am really excited to read it, and I've just been in this massive classics mood for a while, and so I was like, I cannot not choose this. Like, it is a massive classic book, but I am so intrigued by it. I really can't wait to read it, and when that prompt came up, I just knew that this was going to be the book for it. So yeah, very excited, if a little daunted, to read this one. Roll number 4. Purple. Retelling. My first re-roll. Orange. Title with one word. Of course, I spoke a bit too soon, and roll number 4 we did get our re-roll because we had the same colour come up twice, but the first prompt for roll number 4 was retelling. If this is the first time seeing one of my videos, you wouldn't know that I'm a massive retellings fan. It's probably one of my favourite subgenres going. I absolutely love them. I'm deciding to carry on with a book that is like a retelling, but it's a mesh of so many different horror classics as well as Sherlock Holmes. So I am going with the 3rd and I believe the final book in the Athena Club trilogy, and that is The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl by Theodora Goss. I am very excited for this. This is a book series where we are following the daughter of Dr. Jekyll, and it's so good because Dr. Jekyll turns out that he is part of this society of alchemists who have all been experimenting on their daughters. So you have Dr. Jekyll's daughter, you also have Mr. Hyde's daughter, which was a very interesting one, and let's face it, Mary Jekyll was not impressed. We also have a daughter of Dr. Moreau from Dr. Moreau's Island. We also have Frankenstein influence, Dracula influence, Sherlock Holmes makes an appearance, as I've said. It is just such a homage to horror classics, and it's all set in Victorian times, and I love it. I love how all these women come together to try and right wrongs, and I love the formatting of this book because it's written as if it's being written at the time, and so you'll have these little inserts for different characters are like, but we didn't really say that, and must we include this bit? And you know, I'm sure people don't want to know about this, and I really like it. The second book is massive, and it is a little bit long-winded and meandering and goes around the houses a bit, but I still really enjoyed it just because I enjoyed the characters so much, so I'm very excited to see where this one goes. And for our first reroll, we got title with one word, and of course for this one I had to go with Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a book that I've been really excited to get. I love the cover. Look at how gorgeous this is, and a beautiful yellow as well. And this is a YA murder mystery thriller. I'm not entirely sure what's going to be happening in this one, but I've heard some really good reviews about it, and when this one word title came up I was like, I could think of no other book. I've been really wanting to get to this for a little while, so I'm really pleased I can. Do let me know if you've read it and what you thought of it. I'm very excited, and yeah, I really do enjoy YA murder mystery thrillers. I think they're just a fun time. I'm kind of not in the mood for YA fantasy at the moment, but the murder mystery ones I still quite like. Roll number 5. Orange again, under 500 pages. Another re-roll. Purple. Thrifted. Okay, so roll number 5 was also a reroll. I'm just desperately hoping that roll number 6 is not a reroll. But the first roll for roll number 5 is under 500 pages. And for this one, I'm going with another classic that I have been really excited to read and I got a couple months ago, and that is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I'm really excited to read this. I have been told that it can be a bit of an unusual writing style, but I'm just really excited. I love Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and I now want to read works by all the other Bronte sisters, and Wuthering Heights has always been a massive one that's always talked about constantly, so I really want to give this a try. I'm expecting a slightly darker gothic feel to this, and I have also been warned that it can be a little bit ridiculous in places as well, so I'm not quite sure what to expect from this, but I am in that classics mood. I really want to pick this up and try it. I'm excited. We'll see what I think of this one. And then for the second prompt of roll number 5, we got Thrifted. For this one, I have gone with Killjoy by Holly Jackson. This is a book that was published for World Book Day, but because all the shops were closed and stuff, I didn't manage to get my hands on a copy, but I did manage to get this secondhand off of eBay, so I'm counting that as thrifted because charity shops have been closed for a while, so I haven't been able to go charity book shopping. So my thrifted books to choose from are narrowing quite a lot, but I'm very excited to read this one. It is a little one. I decided because I had 2 re-rolls to give myself a little bit of a break, and this is a prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is my absolute favourite YA murder mystery. I think it was phenomenal. I loved everything about it, and I'm very excited to see a prequel to it. And this is actually based on a party that is a murder mystery theme, and our main character Pippa has to go around discovering what is going on and solve the puzzle. It sounds like it's going to be a really fun, easy, quick read, which sounds perfect. My 6th and hopefully final roll. Pink. Romance. Okay, roll number 6 was good. We didn't get another reroll. We've done okay this month, and that was for romance. And for this prompt, I've gone with yet another classic, and that is Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. I'm so excited for this one. It's going to be a good time. I believe it is just a classic romance, but I also know it was considered a very raunchy book for its time. So I'm very excited to see and compare that to our modern day romances and how steamy they can be, and compare that to a classic and see what was considered steamy in those times. It's going to be a fun time. I'm really excited to read it. Again, this is one I got a little while ago but just haven't got around to reading, and like I said, I'm on a classics binge at the moment, so when romance came up I knew that this was the book for it. So excited. It's going to be a good time. But there we have it. Those are my books for the month, as well as my extra book for not finishing my May TBR. But to be fair, it's not looking too bad. I think we've actually done okay this month, especially with having a comic and a very short book in between. So I think this is pretty manageable, although we do still have the book pick that you guys need to choose for me, but not bad. Do let me know what you're planning on reading throughout the month of June. Don't forget, with all these physical books, I've still got those audiobooks that I mentioned at the start of this video that I also want to read. So the TBR is actually quite big, but I'm feeling quite confident because audiobooks are easy and I normally can get through 3 of those in a month anyway, so I'm very happy about that. And this physical TBR is not as bad as it could have been, so I cannot complain. I hope you have enjoyed this video. As always, if you have, please don't forget to give it that thumbs up and subscribe. My social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.